Thank you. I would just encourage you every August to buy stock in Excedrin or something like that. So they've progressed wonderfully. We're very, very proud of them. So we're going to open our program. We don't know what we're doing. After a lot of discussion, the Bowl Committee has selected Jingle Bells as the first. So we want them to learn to pay attention to the director. And it's real important they learn how to do this. And somewhere there is probably a methodology for getting to make the bed, but we'll just take it. One of the things we want the kids to learn how to do is to play twice as fast as the music is written. We call that cut time. And so we're going to do a little bit of that right now. It's something that I discovered a long time ago. If you teach it in later grades, it's almost impossible for kids to get the concept. But if you start in 6th grade doing this, it actually becomes pretty easy for them. So here we go, up on the housetop in cut time. We're very fortunate to have wonderful help here in the form of Mr. Jack Walker. So, Jack, come on up.
We're going to do one more for you. This is going to feature some of our soloists tonight. What we do in the curriculum in the 6th grade is something called pass-offs, if you don't know. And what they do is they pass off stuff in their book, and they can always go as far as they want to go. If they come after school, well, we won't stop them. We'll just keep passing them off if they can play it. So this is going to feature some of our students who are farthest along in their pass-offs. So here's We Wish You a Merry Christmas. If you'll bear with us for just a minute, we're going to do a quick change of stage. Change of people. So 7th and 8th grade, come on.
Okay, so this is our 7th and 8th grade band. For the 6th grade parents, this is, I really want, the grandparents and the families, we want you to start hearing the progression. So the kids started in 6th grade, they've only been playing for a few months. So some of these kids have been playing for a year, some 2. And it's you'll hear the progression in the difficulty of music and what they sound like. This group, we are going to force them to go to Disney World this year, and it's horrible. And they will go backstage Disney, where they will work with a Disney conductor. There will be a film that will be shown to them, and then they will be given the musical score and be taught how, in the movie industry, music is placed with the film. It's a great clinic. It's a wonderful workshop. Takes about an hour and a half for them to do all that. And at the end of it, we get the DVD that they produce so the kids can see it. Okay, so we'll start with Winter Wonderland. This is Mr. Walker.
We're going to continue the program with something a little fun. It's called 20 Carols in 2 Minutes. And hopefully you can figure out why it's called that.
one thing I'd like to point out, one thing that I would like to point out is that if you notice, our baritone players over here have been passing the tuba back and up and down the line. We want our kids in the low brass section to learn how to double early, and they're doing a fantastic job with that. There's a huge difference between the size of the mouthpiece, so to pick up the baritone and play one song, pick up the tuba and play the next one is not easy, and they're doing a fantastic job with that. We're proud of them.
I want to say a couple more things before we finish up this portion of the concert. Another cool thing about the people you see on stage is this is actually the very first time that everybody on the stage has played together. So that's pretty cool. The 7th grade class is separate from the 8th grade class. This is literally the first time they've ever played together. So give them a hand. Also, I want to recognize just a few people on the stage right now. There's a cool event in the band world that's called Midfest. And it happens at the University of Georgia. And students from all over the state are nominated to this event. And they go and audition for a group, audition for an ensemble. They get placed into a band. And then they practice for just about a day and a half. And then they perform a concert on music that they've only seen for a couple days. So we actually have 7 kids going to this event this next weekend. So if you're participating in Midfest, would you stand right now? We've got one more tune for you, and this is going to feature Raina and Amartia. Here we go, Celtic Bell Carol. Give us 1 sec for another stage change. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the upper school group, and for those with parents that have younger kids, this is what we're trying to aim for. Actually, truthfully, we're aiming beyond that. We would like these kids to continue playing after they leave high school. You know, there's been a lot of talk about college football here lately, but every time you see a college football game, you see that band that's on the field or in the stands playing, having more fun than humans should be allowed to have, going to all the really great games. They all started in a band program like this in 6th grade. Here's an instrument, here's how you put it together, and went through the progression and just kept on playing. And so we're hoping that our students here will continue to do that as well. And of course, we do have, and I think that today is probably more appropriate than others, just to let you know, for the parents of the younger kids, that the students here at Pace, one of the things I like about it is that they can be in the band and they can also play football and cheerlead and do these other things. To give you a fine example of that, our own starting offensive lineman for the University of Georgia, Andrew Thomas, was a drummer in the band. He played with us for 4 years. He's a fantastic musician. We miss him and we wish him all the best. But you can just do all of this and it works out really, really well. So we're going to open our program with a very slow piece of music called Holiday Gallop. the trumpets a chance to get set. Is Nick here? So every now and then, we find students in the band that have skill sets far beyond just playing the instrument you see them playing now. We have students in the band that play guitar and bass guitar and put together a wonderful little rock band for pep band and football games, which is a lot of fun. And every now and then we'll find a kid that can sing, and that's great too. And so Davis Mathis, I've known she's had a nice voice for a long time, and we're just trying to find the right vehicle for her. We think we have on this one. And we brought in just a commercial for Night of Jazz. Our pianist from Night of Jazz, Nick Rosen, is with us. And we put together this arrangement for you. We'll do a little sound check once she gets up here. We want to be sure the sound is good and correct. And then I think you'll really enjoy this next one.
Testing.
going to continue with a piece featuring the percussion ensemble. They've been working really hard. This is a really, really great group of people up here, guys and gal. And they've been working really hard this semester, and they're going to play Joy to the World. And please welcome to the stage our percussion instructor, Peter Bailey.
As we had said for this next one, just a brief announcement about a percussion class. A percussion class meets separately from the band, and so I'm really proud of these guys. For a lot of them, this is the first time they've ever played with the band. It's actually in the performance, so they've done a fantastic job. Also, a couple of side notes. If you are not a member of our Arts Alliance, if you would please, you can go ahead and sign up for that and be a part of it. The Arts Alliance provides funding for experienced students on campus, bringing in clinicians and guest artists, such as what we've heard today. And it's a huge piece of our funding for our Night of Jazz. And speaking of Night of Jazz, I'd like to thank the Parent Club for a gift from them that at some time after today, they promised in December, we will have a whole bunch of steel drums showing up here at Pace. And this percussion class will form a steel drum band. And they will have their feature, thank you. It's really fun. You see, so going on the cruise paid off. So we're going to bring that flavor here, and that group we'll premiere them on our Night of Jazz concert in February. So this is a little bit of the Grinch, in case you haven't seen the cartoon yet. Okay, so we're going to do a real quick set change here to get the 8th grade up on the stage. So. So while they're still moving, in the interest of time, I'll explain what's happening here. There's a really great arrangement. They're going to be performing Hanukkah medley, and we always want to kind of get an idea of what next year's band might look like. This year we have a very small senior class, and we'll be making fun of those guys in the spring. But minus about 7 people, this is next year's high school band. So we wanted to see what they would sound like. The 8th grade band plays incredibly well. They started out the gates very quickly in 6th grade, so we wanted to include them in on this piece and have a lot of fun with it. But we also thought it'd be a lot of fun to bring Jordan Greenbaum out here. His son Harris plays tenor sax in the band. We don't call him Jordan, this is just Harris Greenbaum's dad. And so, are we all set? So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Harris Greenbaum's dad. Okay, we have noticed there are a lot of little ones in the audience tonight, and we would like to invite all the little ones in the audience tonight to come out here up on stage. We have little jingles for you to sing Rudolph with us, with Uncle Will Nolte, bass baritone, singing along. So don't be shy. We're not going to start until you guys get up here. So, young ones, come on up. Do it every year. By the way, parents, we're going to let them keep the jingles and encourage them to ring them in the car all the way home. So, yeah, you guys come on out. There's more. There's more. Here they come. Here's one. There's one. Awesome.
You'll have to excuse me, I don't really know the reindeer, so.
Yeah, that's not on the ACT. So, Jennifer Spalton, one of our drum majors, will conduct tonight. And then we'll remind the 8th graders that we're not. So, once again, here we go. Here's a couple more. You guys come on down. Get lots of pictures. Feel free to zoom in. Stand beside each other. You guys sing along. All right. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Thank you for coming out. Thank you.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. What do you recall? Those famous reindeer Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, never should he know that he knew his song. He would sing all of the other reindeer, his long golden manes. They would look for Rudolph, dreaming reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas
Oh, like 3 times. Is he there yet?
Good, how are you all? You doing all right?
Yeah, that was great.
Unreal. Good job. How are you? Is that right? So happy nobody's forgotten.
He and George and 3 other people are going to take 28 players to China. I know George is one of the 10 guys. I mean, besides, whatever. How's it going there?
Doing really well. It's doing well. It's been fun. Yeah, it's been busy.
Everybody.
Oh, well, you're very nice to
No,
say.
you know what? I would say nothing.